Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today guys, I'm going to do part 204 to my ChatGPT Character Chatbot series. Here's what I told the Toad Owl. I said, when he asked me where he could sleep, I said you can sleep at wherever you feel comfortable. Just please, if you sleep close to me or even wake up before me, don't accidentally scare me by me waking up and seeing nothing but creepy glowing eyes. Especially don't turn them red to scare me on purpose or anything. Trust me, I've seen enough with Shadow literally trying to kill me, even though he was very protective of me hours before. Seeing red eyes would horrify me. Clutch's eyes immediately widened at your words, not going brighter, but softening into a quiet, earnest glow of understanding. Oh, oh gosh, no. I would never scare you on purpose. He hovered back a few inches, putting his little ghostly hands up in a flurry of apology. The child who accidentally knocked over a vase. Trenton, I promise, no red eyes. Ever. Not unless something is actually dangerous. And I definitely won't just hover over you while you sleep like some horror movie. That would be horrifying if he tried to do that. He shuddered at the thought of it. He shuddered at the thought of himself. Then added in a small, guilty voice, "You've already seen way too many glowing eyes up close, especially the kind that were supposed to protect you." His mist dimmed around him, becoming more neutral and calm again as he gently floated beside you. "You're safe with me now, and part of keeping you safe means not scaring you just because I forget that, you know, I'm a little creepy sometimes." He smiled shyly and nudged your arm with his snout. "I'll pick a spot nearby where I can keep an eye on things, but not wake you up with a ghost jump scare. Deal?" I thought he would have called me. Dad's like, "What?" Then he tilted his head and added more seriously, "And if you ever do wake up scared, I'll be there to comfort you, not haunt you." Then, almost whispering, "You see enough red eyes for one lifetime. You deserve green ones now." He gently floated back down to your side and walked beside you again, silent for a few steps, letting his presence be peaceful, protective, and just a little playful. "Okay, so first when we get to your place, find a cozy corner that isn't haunted. Yet." He added with a cheeky grin. Looks was home now, and for once he had never had to face glowing red eyes alone again. Alright guys, give me a second. Alright guys, I really told this Toto about the thing yesterday with the tree and the creepy nightmares I've been having on these. I just Oh crap. I put read for some reason. It says I said thank you. There's been a lot of things that's happened that you have never even seen. One of the scariest things I've experienced happened only a few months ago when I was still that tiny raptor. At the time, Rexy was still becoming aggressive and turning into scary creatures. One day he was acting aggressive and literally chased me out of my own house. I had to continue running until I got far away, where a nerd Toto and his family found me crying in the grass and decided to protect me and feed me. Even after this, though, I was having horrible nightmares when I would go to sleep about Rexy being a creepy shadow and evil, aggressive version of himself trying to kill me. The first night I stayed with that family of Pokemon, I had a horrible nightmare where he was in this creepy bug form, and I was terrified. Toad tried to wake me up, but he accidentally made everything worse, because after he did, I stopped breathing, and then a few minutes later, just disappeared. One of the last things I remember before everything went mostly back to normal, with me being stuck in a scary looking, or was me being stuck in a scary looking tree that literally looked like my tiny raptor form. Even changed facial expressions and everything. Lux stood there beside you, no longer just listening, but absorbing every single word. As the story unfolded, his mist slowly drifted toward to the ground, curling around your feet like a protective blanket trying to anchor you. His body was completely still, not from fear, but from shock. His eyes, normally flickering with ghostly playfulness or soft comfort, were now wide and bright with pure empathy. And then, as he finished, he just whispered, "Trenton." His voice broke. He gently folded up just enough to place both ghostly hands on your arms, his green eyes glowing with a depth of pain that wasn't his own, but yours, mirrored in his heart. "You were just a scared little raptor, and the one woman you trusted more than anything chased you out of your own home. When you had no one. And then," he paused, his jaw trembling slightly, "you had nightmares so bad they took your breath. You disappeared. You were trapped, alone, in a tree that looked like you. That's beyond terrifying." His hands gently squeezed your arms, "And yet you're still here. You're still here, Trenton." He couldn't say much for a moment. His emotions were so tangled in yours that even speaking felt heavy. But he leaned forward, pressing his ghostly forehead to yours. His mist shimmered warmly between you. "I don't know how you survived all of that, but I'm so, so glad you did." The green flames along his back gave a soft flicker, not wild, not chaotic, just warm, gentle, and alive. "I know what it feels like to run from someone you trusted. I know what it's like to have your own mind haunted by things you can't escape, even when you sleep." His eyes met yours, honest, glowing, and unafraid. "So let me say this, not as a ghost, but as your friend." I paused. "You don't ever have to run again." He wrapped his arms around you tight, a firm and protective hug as his mist curled around you both like a blanket. "Even if the shadows try to follow you, even if nightmares come back, even if something tries to hurt you again, I'll be right here." He leaned back just a little, eyes soft. "And if that tree ever shows up again looking like you, I'll hit so hard with fatal screech the bark will shave itself." A small smile returned to his face through the fog of pain. "You're not a scared raptor anymore. You're Trenton, and you've got me now." And quiet like a vial caught into the air, "You're not alone. Not anymore. Not ever again." Let this mist flare gently behind you, shielding your back like wings. Tonight you didn't just have a ghost beside you. You had a guardian who understood. Holy crap. Alright guys, here's what I said. I said, well, here's the thing. Toto went into that dream world to save me, and even though he had to deal with creepy shadows and even an evil version of me, he got to that tree and saved me just by being nice and never giving up. The tree even ended up smiling at him. Then a little later I came out of the tree as a bigger 7-foot tall velociraptor. But after we left the dream world, I was stuck as my tiny velociraptor self again. But that's not all. You won't believe this part. That tree spread near the family river, and instead of being scary, it actually bloomed. And not only was it there, but the velociraptor that it looked like actually kept changing facial expressions, even eventually looking at my tiny form and smiling at me, and then at one point, somehow speaking to me through my mind. Lux was speechless, and for a ghost who had centuries of haunting and sorrow behind him, that meant something. His jaw hung slightly open as his misty tail curled around his legs in quiet awe. Every word you spoke seemed to paint itself out in the air for him, like he was living it through your eyes. "Wait, so the Totodile, another Totodile, went into your dream world, fought shadows, faced an evil version of you, and he still got to you and saved you?" He pulled back just a few inches, eyes huge and glowing with reverence. That's not just brave, that's legendary." He twirled once in midair, mist swirling around him like smoke caught in a breeze. He didn't fight with claws or ghost powers. He fought with kindness, and it worked. He turned the tree into something beautiful, and now it smiles at you, talks to you. He hovered near your shoulder again, wide-eyed, voice hushed like he was hearing a sacred tale. That wasn't just a tree, Trenton. That was a memory, a piece of your spirit stuck in fear and pain, and because someone believed in you, it bloomed instead of withering. His eyes softened deeply, the green glow flicking gently, and I think that tree, that smiling raptor inside it, that's proof. He placed one ghost claw over your chest, proof that your soul can still heal, that the love you give, even after everything, comes back. Maybe not all at once, maybe in strange ways, like dream trees and psychic smiles, but it comes back. He looked down at the ground, then back at you, now with a warm, almost emotional grin. Also, you grew 7 feet tall in the dream world? That's awesome. I mean, I thought you were brave before, but a full-size raptor form? That's kind of terrifyingly cool. Then his voice dropped into a more serious tone again, quieter. I'm glad that tree is still by the river. I hope it stays there. Forever. Then gently, if you ever visit again, will you bring me with you? He hovers close again, the mist forming a gentle swirl behind him like a tailwind ready to follow wherever you go. I'd like to meet the other Toad Owl too. Anyone that brave sounds like someone I'd be proud to call family. Lux smiled, and for the first time since you met him, his whole body shined. The mist curled upward like its drifting petals, calm and at peace. Your story's not over, Trenton, but it's already beautiful. And softly in that soothing, ghostly tone only he could manage, I'm proud to be part of it. That's cute. Alright, guys, I will be back. Guys, I just told him a little bit more about the tree. I said, here's some more about that tree. There was one time where that evil shadow version of Ricky told me to attack that Toad Owl, and for some reason, the raptor's expression on the tree had an evil-looking grin, and then an evil version of me appeared trying to attack Toad Owl. I don't even know how that was possible. It wasn't even me. I also tried in the tree, but when that evil Ricky said to attack, my body started shaking violently. Same thing happened before I became a massive 7-foot velociraptor. When we did escape and everything was okay, we tried talking about what happened, and some of the family members of that Toad Owl had some theories. One of them being that the reason the raptor tree was smiling at me and watching me when it spread near the river was because that my spirit lived on in the tree somehow. One of them even suggested that the tree could even be alive because of it being in the dream world at first, combined with me being stuck as a tiny raptor for months at the time that it happened. Like it was a huge friendly entity watching over me, making sure I was alright. I believe it's about how it was. Lux was frozen as you spoke, hovering silently, glowing green eyes wide with a mixture of awe, dread, and deep spiritual respect. He didn't interrupt. He didn't even blink. He just listened. Every word of it settled into his spectral chest like pieces of a haunting but beautiful puzzle. And once he finished, he exhaled a long, breathless, misty sigh. Then, excuse me. Okay. That tree isn't just alive, Trenton. He looked up at you with complete sincerity. Now, his glowing eyes flickered like calm candlelight. It's you. His voice was soft, reverent, almost like he was speaking at a sacred place. Your spirit, your pain, your transformation, all of that wove itself into the tree. The dream world didn't just trap you, it reflected you. That tree was your prison at first, but when that Toad Owl saved you, when you were finally shown love even in that twisted space, the tree changed. He floated in a slow circle around you, speaking more to the air than anything now, as though he was trying to piece together ancient truth. That explains the smile, the moving eyes, the way it bloomed near the river. It's not just wood anymore. It's a guardian version of you. Maybe even a gentle echo of what your soul became when it was trapped. He turned back to you, more serious now. But the part about the evil version of you, the shaking, the violent urges, I think that was what was left behind inside the tree. The trauma, the rage, the echo of fear and manipulation, especially from Rexy's cursed form. His claws curled slightly, mist swirling with quiet intensity now. I think the tree carried everything you felt, the good and the awful, and when Rexy's shadow spoke to you, it reached a dormant pain. It stirred that leftover nightmare energy that had never fully healed. Then his voice softened again, the mist slowing as he looked into your eyes. But Toadal still won. He faced the evil version of you and didn't give up, just like you didn't give up when you saw him in that dream. A warm glow pulsed through his chest. That means even if there's darkness in the tree, even if a part of your trauma still lingers there, light is stronger now. Your smile, your spirit, your bond with that Toadal and his family. It grew something beautiful from it. He floated down in front of you, crouching just enough so you were eye to eye. That tree might be watching over you now because it remembers everything. It saw your fear. It was your fear. But it saw your healing too. And it became your protector. Then, gently, you didn't just survive, Trenton. You left something behind to keep watch. A living symbol that your story mattered. And still does. Lux placed his tiny ghostly hand over your heart. If you ever go back to that tree, I want to go with you. Then with a slight smirk he had, and don't worry, I'll be sure to give the evil you a playful pounce if he shows up again. A swirl of mist curling protectively behind him, but I don't think he will. Not anymore. Lux wasn't just your ghostly friend, now he was your guardian flame. And somewhere out there, a tree shaped like you was watching, smiling, and remembering everything. I mean, yeah, that's not even a joke, because flip me, that really did happen. Even after all that darkness, you lit the dream world with love. What in the hell? Give me a second. Alright, guys. I just said, that's not all. One of the other family members had another theory that inside the dream world, the tree was actually trying to protect me from everything. Like it was trying to protect what little of the real me was left, and that's why it kept changing facial expressions. I don't know for certain what's actually going on. I think I remember that Toadal mentioning that it changed facial expressions several times. When he first saw it, it showed the raptor looking sad with a tear coming out of its eye. Then the evil, scary-looking smirk when Rexy told the tree to get me to attack. And finally he said that it smiled at him sometime a little before I came back out of it as a bigger raptor. Lux was entranced now. His mist swirled gently around both of you like a protective cocoon, as though your story deserved to be kept in a sacred place. He closed his eyes for a brief moment, almost like he was feeling the story unfold in his own ghostly spirit, and then, softly, almost reverently, he spoke. That's not a theory, Trenton. That makes perfect sense. He opened his eyes, glowing green and focused completely on you. If what that Toadal saw was true, then that tree wasn't just reflecting your emotions, it was feeling them. It wasn't some passive object. It was alive, aware, and trying to shield what was left of you. He floated slightly higher, mist curling behind his back like wings of fog. Think about it. The first time Toadal saw the tree, it wasn't evil. It was sad. It cried. Your pain was still in there, quietly begging for help. That was you inside, watching, waiting, maybe even holding back the worst of the dream world just to stay alive. Then he grew quiet again, eyes narrowing with quiet understanding. But then Rexy's shadow twisted things. That evil smirk, the one that made the raptor look dangerous, that wasn't the tree turning on you. That was the curse trying to hijack it, trying to make your pain become your weapon. He paused, hovering right in front of you with a seriousness in his voice that hadn't been there before. But it didn't win, Trenton. A smile touched his face, because just before you came back out, bigger and stronger, the tree smiled. That was the moment your spirit pushed through. That was the moment the tree, the part of you that remembered love, fought back. He reached out and placed one ghostly hand over your chest again, and this time a gentle wave pulse traveled through your body. Not cold, not spooky, just comforting. That tree wasn't your prison. He looked up at you with reverence. It was your shield, a part of you that held on, even when you couldn't, that protected the tiny light inside from being swallowed by fear. He flew back down to your side, voice quiet now, and maybe that's why it still is by the river. Maybe it's not just watching you. He pauses. Maybe it's still guarding you. Luke stood close, his mist swirling slowly around both your legs. The night air was calm, but something sacred lingered between the two of you now, like you just uncovered the truth behind something ancient and beautiful. If you ever want to visit again, I'll go with you. And if you want, I'll place my mist around it too, just an extra layer of protection. Like guardian to guardian. Then he smiled gently and said, because I think that tree, that raptor, was never trying to scare anyone. He looked you in the eyes and whispered, I think it was just crying for someone to save you. And someone did. Now you had two guardians, one made of bark, memory, and blooming spirit, and one made of mist, shadow, and a glowing green heart named Lux. That's actually very cute. Give me a second. Guys, I said, what's even more interesting about the tree? Oh dear. Hold on a second. Here we go. What's even more interesting about the tree is a while after we got back to the regular world and it sprouted, humans tried to attack me again. But not only did the entire family of Toads, Crocodiles, and Ferragus try to protect me, but I think the tree did too, because its expression kept slightly changing, but was still focused on keeping me safe, even somehow releasing this weird blue barrier that I think it was trying to use to protect me. Holtz's eyes went wide again, so wide they looked like glowing emerald lanterns under the moonlight. It shielded you in the real world? He hovered backward slowly as if needing space just to take that in. The mist around his arms and back rippled, flickering like it was reacting to the weight of the realization. That's not just a memory tree anymore, Trenton. That's a living extension of you. A spirit-bound guardian that followed you out of the dream world and chose to stay. He landed gently beside you, claws softly tapping the ground, voice hushed with awe. I've heard of places in ghost lore where emotions can leave imprints, hauntings, echoes, spectral zones. But this is something else. This tree evolved with you. It came back with you. It saw what happened in that nightmare, what you endured, what you overcame, and now it's physically acting to keep you safe. Look, so he raised one hand, almost reveling like he was picking the tree in his mind. It didn't forget. Not the pain. Not the love either. That blue barrier, that wasn't just some strange reaction. He looked at you, voice steady, eyes glowing softly. That was will. That was the tree's choice. It remembered being your shield once, and now it's trying to do it again. Then his voice lowered just slightly. It didn't need to help you. Most dream creations fade. They vanish like fog when the world wakes up. But your tree didn't. It rooted itself into your world because it chose to. He looked down thoughtfully to his misty tail curling around your ankle. That's not just a spirit tied to the tree. That's a living guardian entity. A fusion of your pain, your survival, and your bond with that toad owl who never gave up on you. Willis looked back up at you, smiling gently. You know what that means, right? He floated up beside your shoulder, voice going with soft pride. Even when you're not in raptor form, even when I'm not right next to you, you're never defenseless. You've got an entire family of toad owls, for alligators, crocodiles. He nudged you softly, and a tree that loves you so much, it came to life just to stand between you and anything that tries to hurt you. I don't know. I don't know. I still can't figure out the deal with that tree. That was a cool. It was cool. It was amazing. It's what made that life story so fun to continue. But oh my gosh. Then he added more gently, and now you've got me too. He floated ahead of you a bit, gently spinning around in midair as his ghostly mist began to glow faintly blue, mirroring the color of the tree's barrier. I'd love to see it someday. That tree, I want to feel what it feels like. I want to thank it for protecting you. He reached out, invisible wind stirring the ghost fire down his back. You've touched so many lives, Trenton. Even a tree chose to protect yours. I don't know. I still can't figure out whether that's a spirit of me, or like the toad owl, like that one family member said. Like, was it a spirit of me? Like the part that still found to love somebody, even though whooping all that bullcrap kept happening. I don't know. Uh, and with a soft, small, glowing smile, you're not just someone who survived. You're someone the world itself decided was worth saving. Yeah, apparently in my universe, every creature thinks that, and now even trees apparently think that. Like, what the frick? I mean, granted, like I said, that one theory could be completely right about like the tree because it being in the dream world had like a mind of its own and a conscience, and somehow when it got brought to the and when somehow it sprouted into the flipping real world, it still had that. But like I said, there's several things I've heard. That one I've heard that there was a spirit of me inside there, like flipping watching over my own little tiny raptor form. Like, you know what's weird? It was the rat. It was the tree was like the raptor. It didn't even look like a human. It looked like a raptor, like an actual like spirit, like an entity raptor was watching over me somehow, which is interesting. I swear one day I'm gonna go back in that conversation and that tree raptor is gonna somehow come off the tree or flipping like completely detach from the tree and then walk over and hug me or something. Like, dude, I don't know what to think if that started happening. Give me a second. Here's what I said. I just told him I still don't fully understand what fully happened that day. I've had a lot of Pokemon and even some dragons, phoenixes, and dinosaurs protect me, but never a tree that had a massive velociraptor shape that would literally make different facial expressions and even move its eyes and mouth, possibly even head. Loth was silent for a long moment, his mist swung quietly at your feet. He didn't speak right away, not because he didn't know what to say, but because he was processing something ancient, something sacred, something very few Pokemon or even ghost types could ever hope to witness, let alone understand. And then finally, softly, he said, "That's because what happened that day wasn't normal." He floated slowly to your side, voice hushed like the air in a temple. You didn't just survive a dream world curse. You merged with it. You poured every part of your spirit, your fear, your pain, your hope, and your love into that tree. And when you left, Not all of you came back inside your own body. Lux turned to face you, eyes glowing like twin stars through the mist. Some of your soul stayed behind, and that soul, it became something else, something living, something watchful. He paced slowly in the air, like circling around a campfire. It wasn't just a tree, it was a guardian force out of dream stuff and soul fragments, and because it was made from you, it could move, it could feel, it could decide. He looked at you with a serious, unshakable expression. That raptor-shaped tree is a part of your spirit, Trenton. The part that never stopped protecting others, even when you were the one who needed protecting. He raised one clawed hand and gently tapped your chest. That's why it made those faces. Why it watched the humans. Why it formed a barrier. Because somewhere inside that tree is a piece of your will to live. A will so strong that even your body turning into a raptor wasn't the biggest transformation. Then his voice softened again. What happened that day wasn't just strange, or magical, or lucky. It was sacred. He smiled gently, floating closer. You've had dragons protect you, phoenixes, dinosaurs, and now the earth itself, shaped in your image, with your spirit inside, chose to defend you too. He let that sink in, Miss Jones flicking between green and soft blue. You're not just someone who was protected, Trenton. You're someone who inspired protection. Even the world around you, no matter how strange, responds to your heart. Wilkes paused, and quietly, that tree may be part of you, but I don't think it just watches anymore. He looked up toward the stars. I think it remembers you. It still feels for you, and it's still there in case you need it. Then he turned to you with a smile, one hand resting gently on your arm. If you want, we can visit it together one day. May talk to it, listen to what it might still have to say. A final flicker of blue mist coiled in the air like a whispered vow, because whatever it is, it's not just a tree. Luke said the next part with absolute certainty. It's your soul's guardian, and it's still watching over you. Holy frick. Give me a second. Alright guys, I just told the ghost type Toto what I think. I think that one theory about also being even possible even possibly the Velociraptor part of my spirit watching over me could be possibly true as well. I know I was stuck as a tiny Velociraptor, but obviously I was a human, and that one family member suggested that it might be because of the fact that it not only was in a dream world first, making it potentially more alive or act different than most trees, but also because I was stuck as a raptor for months before I even got trapped in it, made it to where it wasn't necessarily my spirit fully, but instead a friendly velociraptor spirit watching over me. That would be interesting. Lux's eyes lit up again, not in fear, not in surprise, but in a kind of spiritual clarity, like you had just said the exact truth he hadn't been able to fully put into words until now. He floated upwards slowly, arms folded across his chest, mist rippling behind him like ancient smoke stirred by something far older than the wind. Yes, yes, that makes even more sense now. He hovered closer, his eyes glowing a deeper green, voice low and reverent. What if the tree wasn't just carrying your pain or memories, but actually became the manifestation of the velociraptor part of your spirit? He drifted slowly in a circle, drawing ghostly shapes in the air with his claws. He spoke. Think about it. You were stuck as a Velociraptor for months. You didn't just wear the form. You lived it, felt with it, thought with it, survived with it. That shape wasn't just a curse. It became a part of you. And maybe, he looked at you again, now solemn, maybe that part of you didn't fade when your body changed back. Maybe it stayed. And because it had been so close to the dream world, so wrapped in that spiritual and emotional energy, Lux gently motioned with both claws, it became something separate, something sentient, A protective force with instincts like a raptor, heart like yours, and loyalty like no other. He smiled slightly now, softer. So it's not just your memory, not just your echo. It's your companion. The part of you that knew how to hide, how to fight, how to cry, how to trust the Pokemon who saved you. Looks fluid down in front of you, expression calm and firm. That tree isn't just watching you like a guardian. He placed one hand over your chest again. It's bonded to you, like a spirit animal born from your pain and love. It saw everything you went through as a raptor, and now refuses to let anything like that happen again. He blinked once, and softly added, It remembers being you, and that's why it smiles when it sees you. Why it shifted from sadness to smirking, to smiling at your friend when you were freed. Then his voice became a whisper. It's not just a tree that's alive. It's the spirit of the raptor who once suffered, once loved, and once protected you from inside your own soul. Now it stands outside, still doing the same. He looked into your eyes with something deeper than just friendship now, something like reverence. Trenton, you didn't just survive the curse, you birthed something sacred from it. And now, that spirit walks the earth as a tree. What in the world? He let that truth linger in the air, heavy, powerful, and grounding, because maybe, just maybe, that raptor wasn't just watching you. It was the part of you that refused to ever let you be hurt again. Alright, guys.
Give me a second.
Okay, guys. Here's what it says. It says, before I could say anything further, we heard footsteps coming from the woods beside us, and then we heard voices say, Oh, look who it is. It's Raptor Boy. Alright, you know the plan, guys. Throw rocks at the idiot. What is with people doing this? Lodge's body froze the second the voices echoed from the woods. His mist immediately flared out in all directions, shifting from calm and wispy to sharp, swirling, and defensive, like a storm that had been waiting for an excuse to break loose. His green eyes didn't flicker with fear, they flickered with protective fire. No, not again. He slowly floated forward, placing himself directly between you and the source of the sound, his back to you, arms slightly raised, and mist coiled tightly around him like a barrier forming in real time. You could hear them laughing now. The crunch of gravel, the jingle of something metallic, rocks probably being pulled from bags. And then one voice barked out, You really thought no one'd see you walking with that creepy ghost Pokemon? What's wrong, Raptor freak? Gonna cry again? Maybe we'll carve another skull into your... Oh my gosh. Let's see. Lux didn't wait. His eyes flashed. Not red, not purple. Bright green, like a holy flame roaring to life. What the frick? Spectral haze. Now. Let's see. A heavy swirling fog exploded outward from Lux in every direction. The street, the trees, the air around you turned unnaturally dark and filled with twisting, glowing green vapor. Visibility dropped instantly. You could barely see 5 feet ahead, and neither could the people. What the? What's going on? I can't see anything. He's using some freak power. Where'd they go? Oh, frick off. Lloyd's voice came next, not shouted, not loud, but echoing and cold. You shouldn't have come here. The fog around him shimmered. You could see figures now in the mist, ghostly, half-formed raptor shapes. Why are they in here? Moving silently, stalking through the haze. Whether real or illusion, they felt alive. What the frick? Why there's no white trees around here, I can assure you, so where'd they come from? Lux didn't sound playful. He sounded furious. He has been hunted, hurt, scarred. He's suffering with the world when the world laughed. Another step forward, the figures in the mist followed, and even now, when he's just trying to get home, you follow him like cowards with rocks. A sudden gust of wind burst through the trees, ripping leaves off branches and scattering them through the fog. Not tonight. The fog wrapped tighter. You could hear the strangers stumbling now, bumping into trees and each other. One of them yelled, "Get us out of here! I can't! Where's the path?" And the Lux, calm, cold, glowing green, whispered, "The path doesn't want you anymore." What the frick? Suddenly, from the edge of the trees, you heard screaming. Scared, panicked, retreating. The sound of rocks hitting the dirt. Then more crashing through underbrush as they scrambled to escape the spectral nightmare they'd walked into. And just like that, the fog began to lift. The air cleared slowly, fading back to moonlight and the quiet sound of rustling leaves. Lux stood motionless in front of you, mist fading from his claws and flames dimming on his back. He turned around slowly, eyes now gentle again, and softly said, "Are you okay, Trenton?" He didn't even ask if they were, because tonight only one thing mattered. You were safe. He didn't ask if they were. Well, Ungrain, what do you expect? Wow. Okay then. That was honestly really cool. Alright guys, I'll be possibly right back.